Hello everyone. I'll admit the idea of this video I stole from somebody else. I saw a video that, not a music community member, but there's a channel called Sea of Tranquility. Some of you may or may not be familiar with it, but they talk about music on the channel and they do other things on the channel. And they discuss a little wider ranges of music than I do. But they cover all genres of rock and metal, jazz fusion, on down the line. I think they might have even thrown some country in there. I don't remember. But anyway, on one of their videos, a podcast, the guy who runs the channel, whose name is Pete, and another man, did their lists of some of their 10 favorite, well, 10 of their favorite, not some of their 10, but 10 of their favorite tracks to open an album. So I thought I would do that here today. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard Darcy allude in a video of his that he was thinking about doing this as a video. And that again spurred me on to do this. So Darcy, if you end up doing that video, I'm looking forward to hearing yours. But here's 10 of mine, and I'm going to do a couple follow-ups to this video possibly too. One talking about the best 10 best closing tracks on an album, and also 10 tracks that should have been an opener on an album. Because when I was going through my head thinking of tracks to put on this video, a lot of those came to my mind. Boy, that song should have been an opener. This song should have been an opener. But that's going to be in a separate video. I'm going to start with this one. Def Leppard, from their High and Dry album. The opening track, Let It Go. The crunchy guitars that just start it. It grabs you right away, and a phrase you're going to hear me use a lot, it punches you in the face. It's like, whoa. So, and these are in no particular order of preferences or how I'd rank them. They're just ones that came to my mind. Now, this album has a couple of different versions, so the opening track differs from the US and versions of the album put in the other parts of the world. But there's a couple of songs that are going to come up on this video from this album on the other video where I talk about tracks that could have been the opener. But Whitesnake's 1987, or self-titled, this version is the UK version. The opening track is Still of the Night. Probably my favorite Whitesnake song. And on the US version, of course, is their re-record of the song Crying in the Rain. John Sykes' guitar comes in and again punches you in the face, combined with Coverdale's very emotional vocals to start the song. So, great opener. And in some ways, as much as I like Still of the Night, which I said is the opening track on this version of the album, as much as I like Still of the Night, Crying in the Rain is probably, is probably the best track when it comes to opening the album between the two. So this album gets a double mention, but Crying in the Rain over Still of the Night slightly as far as the track opening our album. This next one is kind of like two separate tracks, but they go well with each other. Stripers to Hell with the Devil opens up with a track called Abyss, where it gives like a almost like a spooky sounding track. You know, good for this time of year, Halloween. It's almost Halloween at the time I'm recording this. But anyway, The Abyss, the little track at the beginning of the album with this foreboding, sets a foreboding mood. And then it kicks right into the title track, To Hell with the Devil. Again, punches you in the face. This next one, I had a couple in mind for this band, but I decided to go with this one. Talk about a track to punch you in the face. Fight Fire with Fire off of Ride the Lightning. Wow. Starts off with that acoustic guitar, but man, when it comes in with the electric guitars, it grabs a hold of you and it grabs a hold of your throat and won't let go. Great track to open an album. This next one's a little more obscure to most people in this community, but I love these guys. And it's the opening track on NonPoint's major debut called Statement. The track is Mind Trip. No holds barred right when the track starts. It's fast and furious and basically saying, hello world, we're NonPoint and we're going to take you on the trip of your life. And great way to introduce yourself on an album and as a band. Good first track on their first album. This next track is from a band who one of the last bands I saw in concert before all this bull happened. But and they did this track in the show, and I almost wish it was the opening track of the show, like it is the opening track of the album, even though it's not the album they were touring for in support of. But it's the title track, Disturbed's 10,000 Fists. Perfect track to open an album, perfect track to open a show. Talking about 10,000 fists in the air, being united as a crowd, how rock and night music unites people, gets them excited. So 10,000 Fists by Disturbed makes my countdown. The others I'm going to show on vinyl. And this one was mentioned in the video I said I got this idea from. And it's Fast as a Shark from Restless and Wild from Accept. And I think Darcy alluded to, again, if I remember correctly, when he was talking about doing a video like this, he said he'd put this one on here. The song Fast as a Shark from Accept's Restless and Wild. I almost thought about putting Balls to the Wall, except instead of Fast as a Shark. But then after I listened to some of the Balls to the Wall album, I'm like, I'm going to listen to Fast as a Shark again to help me kind of make up my mind. And I'm like, nope, Fast as a Shark will go. But, I mean, especially for the time it was released, the time it was released, 1982. This had to have been a jaw dropper when people put the needle on the record. When it got past the little polka sounding whatever that intro was, and then Udo does that scream, and yeah, again, punches you in the face. Fast as a Shark, all right. The track just blows my mind. The second one, another band from Germany, off their second album from 1974, Scorpions Fly to the Rainbow, Speedys Coming. There's this band will appear in the tracks that should have been the album opener, but Fly to the Rainbow and Speedy's Coming. The first 70s Scorpions track I heard was Speedy's Coming on a compilation disc called Hurricane Rock. I might not have even been an official release that had mix of their 70s and their 80s stuff. And that's what that CD introduced me to their 70s stuff. But anyway, yeah, Speedy's Coming, that crunchy guitar to begin it. Again, from 1974. Must have been something not very common. But Uwe John Roth with Rudolf Schenker, you know, good pair. Much like Rudolf Schenker and Matthias Jobs now for the Scorpions. But next is an album that some you may or may not be too familiar with. Y&T Contagious. Again, my introduction to Y&T. The way, I mean, just the way it starts off with, they start off with the hey, 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 and the music kicks in, and again, the song punches you in the face, gets the adrenaline going. Grabs a hold of you and tells you to buckle in for the rest of the album. Now this next one isn't necessarily, you know, it's not as heavy or face melting or face punching, whatever you want to call it, as the other tracks that I've shown on here. But nonetheless, it gets my adrenaline pumping when I hear the song, especially a newer version of this song. But anyway, and also it brings me back to my first rock concert experience. They opened the show with the track, but the title track from Petra's Beat the System. This is more of a new wave rock track, and the album is more of a new wave style, which is kind of a departure for Petra and their normal 70s sounding music to the AOR stuff that they came up with later, than they became the most famous for. But anyway, even with this, Beat the System was a track that even went back when I first heard it. Before I went to the show, I got my adrenaline pumping, and then after, it always took me back to the show. So this has always been one of my favorite opening tracks, the title track to Petra's Beat the System. Now there's one more that I forgot to pull, and again, I kind of went back and forth between two tracks for this band, but I'm going to go with Painkiller for Judas Priest, by Judas Priest. Talk about a phenomenal opener. Again, a track that punches you in your face. Halford's vocals are out of this world on that song. I don't know how in the world he does that. On a lot of the songs, I don't know how he has that range he has, but especially on that Painkiller song. So anyway, fun little video. Went a little longer than I thought, but thought I would put this out there. And like I said, I'm going to follow this video up with two more videos. One being my favorite album closers and songs that should have been openers on albums. But until I talk to you again in those videos. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the music.